Masquerade masks date all the way back to the 14th and 15th century. It's hard to believe that 7 centuries later, they're still around. Although they have very different uses nowadays than what they had to begin with. We're going to take a look at the history and the origin of them, what their use is for today, the different types of them. Dating back to the 13th and 14th century, masquerade balls began as a part of the European carnival shows. This is the less high society, and the circus people would wear the masks, and the villagers would gather in the costumes and party all evening long. Because they would participate in elaborate pageants and glamorous events. Some of the most notorious balls were held in some of the greatest halls across the world, and most of them were to honor the royals. Since contrary to belief, it wasn't until the late 1600s that the Venetian masks had anything to do with the Renaissance period. And they became associated with Italy. According to allthat'sinteresting.com, it says, tied to the Venetian carnival celebrations, the balls were full of decadence, gluten, and lust. So sadly, they were short-lived. And after the fall of the Venetian Republic, in the 18th century, the balls began to fade from the ballrooms to where they became only a memory. Since the fall of the Venetian Republic didn't put an end to the masquerade balls, though, not in all of Europe. So then after some reworking by a Swiss count, the masquerade balls transformed once again into fashion shows. They were a huge fashion frenzy. According to allthat'sinteresting.com, in the 18th century England, after a gentleman named John Hedger brought the costumes and the masks to public dances in the gardens throughout London. He set out transforming the Night of Sin with unescorted women and drunken men into an occasion for the men of taste. Some disputed the morality of the balls, especially in colonial America. So they still saw the masquerade balls grace some of the finest halls in the world. While most of Europe danced the nights away, some of the mass nights took on a more sinister edge. Throughout the 18th century, the glamorous balls turned into gruesome events. Since a Swedish king in 1771 was killed and murdered at one of his own balls. And ever since then, the balls have been associated with a night of risk, inspiring many operas and plays. Since in 15th century Venice, where royal aristocrats, republic with its own democratic style. Since the upper class always participating in parties, not allowing anyone else to attend, the Venetian mask changed everything. Then at least everyone could attend the balls. So in 16th and 17th centuries, in 16th and 17th centuries, everyone wasn't allowed to speak in public. So a bunch of people wore the mask for anonymity. That way they could speak and not worried about being punished. That way they could express their thoughts, according to the history1700.com. It says, with no freedom of speech, disguises started being worn to combat the socially improper behavior. The non-aristocrat citizens even wore them in major political decision-making events. That way they could vote and be anonymous. Near the end of the Republic, though, they started banning the wearing of masks. They were very restricted. By the end of the 18th century, you could only wear them for about 3 months, and that was starting December the 26th on. Now, we're going to take a look at several of the different types of masks. It says, although there are several different types of masks, there are 9 that are the most popular and researched. And those are from researched most of them from the masquerade.com. So you have the batua, which is this one right here. It's a full face mask, normally in gold, silver, or white. It has no mouth, a very strong pointed jawline which tilts upward, so that way it allows the wearer to eat and drink and talk without having to take it off and reveal their identity. So it was usually worn with a red cape and a hat called tricorn. It was obligatory to wear them at certain political decision events. That way, they were anonymously voting. You have the second one, which is the Columbina, just like the ones, majority of them are on the wall. It's only a half-face mask. It's usually held up with a dowel or tied behind your head with a ribbon. They come in gold, silver. They're decorated with jewels and feathers. So it was designed for an early actress because she didn't want her full face covered. She only wanted part of it covered. And then we have the Medico della Peste, also known as the Plague Doctor. And it's one of the most bizarre and recognizable masks of the Venetian time. It was all white with a big long beak, and it had solid round eyes that had diamond discs in them, sometimes with glasses. It was created by a French doctor. It was adapted along with sanitary procedures for the doctors to wear that were treating the plague. The doctors normally wore a black hat with a long black cloak and white gloves. And they also carried around a long stick so they could poke the patient and see if they were dead or not without actually having to touch them. And then we have the Moretta. This one right here. It is normally solid in color. It's an all-face mask. It also is usually accompanied by a veil. And it's held in place by a woman biting on the bit or a dowel. It's got its nickname from the mute maid because you couldn't really talk while you was wearing it. So it hasn't been worn much since 1760. Next is the Volto top, also known as the larva. Its design is like the Buddha. It's a full face mask. is designed where it's pointed at the chin so you can still eat, drink, and talk while wearing it without having to take it off. It was normally solid white, and it was made out of a thin wax paper, so it was very lightweight and easy to wear. It's also usually worn with a tricorn hat and a cloak. Next we have the Arlentina, also known in English as the Harlequin. It's a full face mask. It has a short nose. It's a full face mask with short nose. And it has arched eyebrows. It usually has a headdress or a collar with it with bells on it. And it was typically worn with a multicolored costume with a diamond pattern. After that, we have the Pulcinella, also known as the pantaloon, which is definitely easier to say. The pantaloon, it has a big hook as looks like a beak as its nose, and it has slanted eyes. It's usually gold or silver in color, and sometimes has paintings or decorations on it. It came from a classic character in Italian theater. And then we have the zanni, or zanai. It's usually gold. It has a very long beak to it, just like the medico does. Has bulging eyebrows and a low forehead. But beware, the longer the nose, the stupider the character. So now we're going to look at today's uses. Since there isn't many uses for masquerade masks in today's world, especially since the invention of latex and makeup, since one of the uses would be for decoration. Some people collect them and they display them throughout their home or in their rooms. So the second is they're worn during Mardi Gras time. A lot of people wear them during the parades or for parties during the Mardi Gras celebrations on the streets. So then we have an occasion fundraiser or charity where they hold a masquerade ball. And that's where people will gather wearing the mask, usually for an event for proceeds to go to a good cause. So as we've taken a look back from the 13th through the 18th centuries, and then all the way to today's modern uses for the masquerade mask, things have changed. They have once used for anonymity, to be anonymous, and now they're mainly used for decoration. So the next time you see a mask on the shelf or someone wearing one, think about its origin and the history of the people that used to wear them. So although the masks have changed and now they're mainly novelty, you can still find them lining the Venice canals during the carnivals, and sometimes the occasional halls in France's dance halls. There are countless many other masks from the Venetian century, along with its history and their traditions, at delpacino.com. Thank you.